What on earth are we doing today? Well, you might be able to notice that somebody has taped up a fairly good old crack on the seam here. So instead of having it repaired, what they've done is put a piece of tape over there just as a temporary repair. Now, you can have these plastic welded and then filled in and painted, and it looks absolutely perfect and original, but the customer on this one has decided that they would rather have the covers put on. So these covers will effectively be cut down and fitted over the top, and I suppose the advantage of the cover is they're a little bit cheaper. I suppose all said and done, it's a little bit cheaper, and you can do both sides, and then it stops if you were to have a crack coming up on the opposite side, because currently there's nothing on the opposite side, so we wouldn't do a repair on the opposite side. But it just means that we can protect both sides. So these will be glued on essentially. We'll remove the light. The light will be fitted back into that side part of the panel, but what it then does is it protects both sides of the panel. So we'll end up just drilling out the end of the crack either side. The end cap here is coming off, so that's all going to be removed and then refitted back on, and then we might even redo the strap or the cover over the back as well and put a new cover on that, but that'd be a later date. If we do that, we've not been instructed to do that, so it's literally just repairing this crack. But as I say, these you can buy off the internet, so that can come off, and then it's just literally just tidying everything up that's already here at the minute. And again, we'll still clean up and give this a bit of a scratching over basically. So that the adhesive has got something to actually adhere to. Gonna leave that cap in place just for the minute, because we're going to mark out then, once we've removed that light, we'll fit this into place, mark out where that's going to get cut, and then that will be fitted on there. Cut this to length so that it covers that back area, and then we can mark out exactly where that's going to fit. So it's literally just marking at the front here now. So that then is cut down, and you'll see there's a little rib like there, there's another rib there, and it's worked out that this one, not always the case, but this one is absolutely spot on. That then follows the curve of the roof, and then all that we've got to do is just mark out where the actual light fittings are on here. You can now start to see, as we start digging into this even more, we uncover even more issues. So we knew that little top strap was already loose, but when we've revealed that now, there's a massive gap here that would have been letting water in. The owner of this van keeps it undercover, but if this had had any hard winters outside, I think we'd have had major issues on the inside. Luckily, it's not really doing anything inside at all, and I think they've caught it fairly early with the tape and what have you, but not everyone's going to keep the caravan undercover. Just temporary fitting the light now, and I've put a little tiny dot in just to mark out my hole. So I'll remove that, and again I'll just put a very small pilot hole through first, double check I'm in the right place, and then they can be drilled out to the correct size. So it's ended up being absolutely spot on. So I've just drilled out, you can see I had a couple of tents at the the pilot dot sort of thing, and then it was sort of having a look and just seeing if it sort of looked down the side, whether it was lined up or not, and then went for the small one. We're pretty much close, so, well, pretty much bang on actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit the first screw in and then mark out the bottom one just to make sure. So that's all now drilled out, bottom hole is in, all in the right place. Test fitted so that I know that it's all fitting nicely and correctly, following the line of the rail properly. So we can now go ahead, clean everything all up, get this actually fitted on. I started off by drilling out the ends of the holes. We're going to rough all this up, clean all this old sealant up, fill in our little void here, fill in obviously all of the crack, and then we'll rough all the area up that the panel's going to fit to, and then glue that into place. Now we're all cleaned up, roughed all the surface up so it's all been scoured up basically. So now I'm starting to fill in all the gaps and whatever, and just taking my time on this and really pushing the end of the nozzle in. I've got the smallest end of the nozzle on, making sure that the sealant goes right down in that awning rail to make sure that that fills up any gaps or anything like that. And I've dug all that out quite well and released it out as much as possible, and then it's just going to fill that gap in. We'll fill that crack in and then pop that top cover on. So we'll have a look at it in a second. Now I've filled in the crack, I've filled in all of the gaps on the rail, and I'm not worried about making too much of a mess at the minute, because I don't want to make a huge mess, but all of this will clean off afterwards. So I'm not going to mess with this. I'm not going to try and clean it up now. I'm going to get the panel, the over panel, actually fitted on, and then once I've got all that in place, then I'll worry about cleaning up. So it's just at the minute trying to make up as much strength on this panel as possible. I'm filling in the gap on the rail, but then I'm also bringing all the sealant up and over that crack and just really reinforcing that crack. So if ever we had a problem and water actually got underneath of our panel that we're going to put on, we know that what's actually underneath of there, it's not the prettiest, but it's going to be nice and strong. So that's pretty much somewhere near now. I've cleaned up, I'm going to clean up the little top cover. I'm then going to fill this up with sealant and then put this on top and let everything squidge out of there. Again, I'm not going to worry about cleaning up too much at the minute, and then I'm going to do the same with the actual cap cover, get that all into place. So our cap cover is now in place, and I'm going to now go ahead and seal in the main cap cover as well. We're using Sikaflex 221 on this, which is an adhesive and a sealant. Doesn't really need to be UV protected for this. I think it has got a bit of UV protection in this one, but they also do a 522, I think it is. It's a little bit more UV protective, but because it's all underneath of the covers, we don't need as much UV protection on this sealant. And that then is the finished article. So we've sealed in the gap between the rail and the panel. We will just put something on top now just to cover that in, and obviously just a little bit of cleaning up still to do. Wet wipes are normally quite good once you've sort of just the last excess bits. We'll clean up those quite well, and then if you need to do any finishing in bits, then you can just go in afterwards with the sealant once it's finished and dried all up. But that is basically one method, one way if you've got a cracked panel to actually fix that. If it's on the sort of corner, and these covers will actually cover the area, which along this line here they definitely will, as long as it's not gone too far backwards. So hopefully you've enjoyed our little video of how to fit those. It's taken a couple of hours. I think the covers are about 50 quid. So by the time I've done the other side, it's sort of half a day. So you're going to probably be paying maybe between £200 and £400. I'd have said, if you said about £300 roughly, or if you want to have a go yourself. It is something that if you're a bit of a DIYer, you can have a go at. So I say just a bit of cleaning up now to do, and then we'll probably just go over it just as an overseal once everything's all settled and dried, just to be 110%. So hopefully you've enjoyed that little tutorial video, an option basically of what to do if you've got a crack on your panel. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.